Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. Have my Woodstock glass, doing great.
Nice.
So, all right, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. My name's Isabel Barbie. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm an incoming fourth-year history major with minors in political science and Spanish, and I'm the administrative chair on the orientation leadership team.
Then hello everyone, my name is Hannah Fairder. I use she, her pronouns. I am an incoming fourth year with a majoring in art and design with a concentration in graphic design and a minor in graphic communication. I am the transfer activities lead for the orientation leadership team.
Incredible. Wow, very accomplished. So involved. I love it. I love to see it. Also, hello, I'm Lindsay. Nice to meet you. So we're talking about transfer slow days. Yes?
Yes.
Beautiful. All right. So y'all just want to dive in and kind of share a little bit of what that is and what that looks like?
Yeah, so for our transfer slow days, we are excited to welcome our newest transfers on August 12th and the 13th. So for any transfers watching, keep your eyes keep your eyes on your Cal Poly email account for more information to come. But transfer slow days will give you an overview of Cal Poly and what to expect for your first quarter at Cal Poly, and also information on how to register for classes. And then registering for classes will take place August 16th at 10 a.m. And then also don't forget to complete the Canvas course by August 11th. Each of you will be enrolled in a Canvas course for your college to learn more about the college as well as to prepare for transfer slow days. If you have not been added yet, don't worry, we are working with admissions in order to make sure that all the students are being added, and so once you complete it, it'll be removed from your admissions checklist. And then don't forget also we have our Transfer Summer Workshop series going on currently. Those are a weekly workshop either on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and there's more information on that on our website. However, the remaining topics we have are finding your community at Cal Poly. That will take place this week on the 5th, and that is with student diversity and belonging, parent and family programs talking about students with dependents, and then as well as one other group, but I'm blanking on them right now, who are involved. And then our other workshops coming up are on-campus resources to support student success. So that's Career Center, the DRC, which is the Disability Resource Center, many other services in that category. Then we also have another workshop with the Transfer Center coming up in early September, as well as a workshop with the library coming up also in early September. And then I think that is it. Oh, and then all our workshops are recorded and will be in the transition toolkit. And also for the links for that have been emailed to your Cal Poly email account and are also in the transition toolkit.
Incredible. Wow. And I hope everyone got that. And if you didn't, don't worry. This will be uploaded to our YouTube page. All right. So that was beautiful. That was really beautiful. Okay. So also, can you guys share a little bit about what NSTP is?
Yeah, definitely. So NSTP stands for New Student and Transition Programs, and that is the department that Hannah and myself work under. New Student and Transition Programs oversees three main programs. Those are Open House, Slow Days, and the Week of Welcome. So starting with Open House, that's our event that we have for all conditionally admitted students every spring. And that's usually the first couple weekends of April, one of those weekends. Open House is not a mandatory part of our orientation, but a lot of people still go to Open House. I know that I was able to serve as an Open House lead this past year, and it was really fun. Even virtually, we had a lot of events to kind of connect prospective students with each other and show supporters what this school would be like for their student. But Slow Days and WOW are two parts of our mandatory orientation, and those are mandatory for all new students, whether they're first years or new transfer students. So our Slow Days for our freshman students are 1.5-day sessions where students spend the night on campus and are grouped in small groups. Those are a lot more focused on orienting to life in college. But for our transfer students, our slow day sessions look a little bit different and are a lot more geared toward academic advising. That's for a few reasons. First off, typically our transfer students have already had experience at a higher ed institution and usually are a bit further along in their degree path as well, so they're ready to really get to start knowing their advisors and working with their major specific departments and things like that. And then for the week of welcome, we have a few different tracks. We have our traditional first-time freshman track, and that's usually the majority of our groups. Those are usually grouped based off of where you live. But we also, for first years, have our cross-cultural experience track, CCE, which is growing bigger and bigger every year. And the cross-cultural experience, yeah, it's awesome. But the cross-cultural experience is basically a track for anyone who would like to opt into a more cultural experience for their week of welcome at Cal Poly. And it's really a group for people of underrepresented identities at Cal Poly, but also for people who just might not be in an underrepresented group, but still want that same experience, that cultural experience that our leaders provide. And our leaders go through a lot of different series of what we call development series or additional diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings to be prepared to provide that experience to new students. But then we also have our transfer WOW experience, which is really cool. And these are groups specifically for transfers, presentations catered to transfers, resources offered to transfer students as well. And that's a lot of like community building again, but then a lot of showing what Cal Poly really has to offer specifically for transfer students, which is why we have our transfer groups. And yeah, so that was a lot of information, but slow days in the week of welcome are the two parts to our orientation, our mandatory orientation, I should say. So we have a few more first year freshman sessions. We have 3 more, I believe, and then we have our 2 transfer sessions. And then a little bit going on as we plan for the week of welcome, which will be the first week that everyone is on campus.
Incredible. And I don't know where I got this stat from, but aren't we like one of the top like orientation programs in the nation?
Yes, we've been called that. Yeah, Cal Poly orientation is definitely a little famous in the orientation world. But one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on is just being like really student run. We have an amazing team of professional staff, but a lot of the work for like training our leaders, planning our events, planning our scheduling and all of those things really does go to the students. And we have an awesome like student leadership team and a group of leaders that we've all helped to train this year. And kind of like under the guidance of our professional staff are able to create a really like student-led experience. And I think that's what makes Cal Poly's orientation really special is just you're really getting like the student perspective, the student experience, because a lot of this is planned and structured through like the student lens.
Right. I remember I was a WOW leader. Also, was there weird feedback? What? Okay, no, great. But when I was a WOW leader, we sat on like the ground of the auditorium for like 3 hours every Tuesday night, but yeah. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was so much fun and I absolutely loved it. Were you both WOW and slow days leaders?
Yes, we both have been. I was a slow days leader in 2019 and a WOW leader in 2019.
Incredible.
And then have worked in a few different leadership roles with the department since then.
Yeah, I similarly have been a slow days leader in 2019, a transfer WOW leader in 2019, and then as well as a returning slow days leader in 2020.
Oh, what was your favorite part?
Oh, I think for me, for WOW, definitely being able to work with another leader and having my was definitely one of the highlights because it was just amazing to be able to work with someone and work well with someone and just know that she had my back during the week because it was a lot. There was like a lot of ups and downs with just like how things were run, and so knowing she had my back was one of the highlights.
Yeah, that's definitely really big to have a co-leader. It's one of like the best things. I think, gosh, I've had so many awesome experiences, but I feel like one of my favorite things just in general has been, like as a past slow days leader, you realize you had like over 100 new students that you were their orientation leader throughout just one summer. And so seeing my former Slow Days group members around campus was really fun, and I still really enjoy that. Just like kind of running into them, being able to check in with them, see how things are going, and really connect with them past orientation. I think that's what can be really special too, is like your Slow Days group, your Slow Days leader, your WOW leader, and your WOW group. Like those things don't go away after the experience. You still see those people around and kind of have like a built-in community once you get here, and I think that's really cool.
100%. I even just like as a tour guide, whenever I see people that I like gave a tour to and then all of a sudden they're on campus as like students, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're here. And it's crazy to see them actually like living that life, you know, and something that we've already kind of like been through. And we're like, oh my God, you're doing the whole first year thing. I remember that. And my Wowies are some of my favorite people on this planet. And so it was just so, I actually keep running into them this summer. So it's been so fun. But it's honestly such an incredible like program that Cal Poly has. And I think it really does shape so many students and their lives and their 4-5 years here at Cal Poly. So thank you guys for all that you do, because y'all truly impact so many, like, I mean, every student's life here at Cal Poly. Like, it's insane. But I did see a question, is Slow Days all day? So I think if you guys want to kind of talk about what a day for Slow Days looks like, especially through like for like a transfer event, what does that look like?
Yeah, so for transfer Slow Days, we'll be starting off in the morning around 8:30 with a check-in and coffee chats with our transfer orientation assistants, which is a new position this year. So it's new transfer students who have been at Cal Poly and have been working with orientation specifically on transfer stuff. And then we have a welcome starting around 9 for Slow Days, and then some webinar presentations in the morning. And then as well as some information on registering also taking place in the morning. And then in the afternoon for a lunch break, during lunch break we'll have some of our transfer orientation assistants sharing their stories about being a transfer at Cal Poly. And then the afternoon, starting around 1, roughly depending on, or starting around 12:30, we'll have college welcomes where transfers will be divided up into their college in specific Zoom links for that. And then we'll go into academic advising for specific majors. And it will roughly last about, so the day will be around 8:30 to 5 p.m. Some days for students, depending on your major, might end a little early, but it's roughly all day.
Incredible. It's full of great things and so much to learn, and I love Slow Days. It was so great. Are they staying on campus?
No. Transfer Slow Days is virtual, just because we wanted to make sure it was accessible to all students and be able to reach enough students, and working with the transfer student schedule, this was just what fit best this year.
Right. It's kind of a special circumstance, one might say, yeah, but I bet it's still going to be incredible. Also, if y'all want to start like asking, all you out there, if you guys want to start asking questions, put them in like the comment chat. But I do have, okay, there's a great question. What happens if we're not able to make some webinars throughout the day? Will they be recorded?
Yes, the webinars will be recorded and added into Transition Toolkit. So you'll be able to catch up on the material that way. That is for sure recorded for the NSTP ones in the morning. I'm not sure about college-specific welcomes or advising. So if you, try and make sure you can attend your college-specific advising, since that's where you'll be connecting with your academic advisor and making sure you have information before you register on the 16th.
So I have some questions that people have sent to my little question bubble. So we already said if you can't stay on the whole day, we already have that answer. When will we know about our slow leader for transfers?
Slow Day students transfer students do not have a specific group assigned for so they do not have a Slow Days leader because it is based off of, they'll go to their college advising sessions. So we do not have groups for transfer students, so you won't know. But you will have WOW leaders, and those will happen when we get to WOW.
Incredible. Speaking of WOW, there's a question. As a transfer student, do you stay on campus during WOW days?
So that's completely up to like your housing situation. So a lot of our transfer students do live off campus. So if you're living off campus for like fall quarter and for the year, then you'll be living off campus for the week of welcome. But if you are moving into on-campus housing, then move-in will be before WOW events start. So you'll be able to be living on campus already if that's your plan to live on campus for the year.
Okay, so I'm not for transfers because they are talking about a parking pass, but it says if we were to receive a parking pass for in-person slow days, what do we do if we do not receive that?
Okay, so if you are coming to one of our in-person sessions for our first year students, there should be a parking pass in your registration email that you receive, but if there's not, then when you come in and check in with us in the Yaki Tutu Plaza in the morning at the beginning of your session, we can get you a parking pass when you check in with us then.
Incredible. Also, I do see people are asking about transfer appeals. We do not have answers for you guys on that one. Go ahead and email admissions@calpoly.edu. And they are wonderful people, wonderful humans. Sometimes I'm on the receiving end of that email, so say hello. But just want to clear that up really quickly. And then, so I'm kind of going to alter this question a little bit. So it says, when will we get the schedule for slow days? So when are things going to be sent out? When should people expect information?
Yeah, that's typically about 2 days before your session. You'll receive an email to your Cal Poly email, or if you're a supporter, you'll receive an email to the email you signed up with as a supporter when you registered, and those will have your schedule available there for you.
There is also currently on the orientation website, we do have the transfer slow day schedule, and so that would be at orientation.calpoly.edu, and then under slow days and then transfer student sessions, and then it's about halfway down the page. There is a schedule with some of the times that I said earlier in this call.
Incredible. Also so impressive. You know where it is on a website halfway down the page.
That is awesome.
So if everyone wants to send in any final questions, I would love, while we're waiting for those final questions to come in, for each of you to kind of say if there was one thing you want the people watching to know right now, or if there's anything you'd like to add, but any expectation they should have, anything you want them to know.
I think one thing is that the transfer slow days will be very informational, very information heavy, and the main time where you will be able to connect with other transfer students is most likely in your college advising. However, we will be having a transfer social the following days after registration, and that'll be hosted by our transfer orientation assistant. So if you want to meet other transfer students and begin building those connections, that is the best place to do it, because we have so much information to get to you all. We don't have time for that during transfer slow days. So the transfer social will be a great way to meet other transfer students, but then there'll also be plenty of opportunities to meet other transfer students during the week of welcome.
I think one thing I would say is that I know when I was going through orientation, I had a million questions, and I was kind of afraid to ask them sometimes because I thought it might be a silly question or something that I should already know. But I would definitely just use your orientation leaders and your college advisors as unlimited questions, because we are here to answer questions, and even if we don't know the answer to something, we can help you find it. I think that it's super important to really just be honest with yourself and be I need to know the answer to this, even if it's a silly question. So sorry.
No,
My
it's
phone
okay.
told me that it's on low power. But just ask the question, because it is so much better to ask the question and get it answered than wonder if you should have asked it or not. And we can definitely help you find all of those answers if we don't know them already. So definitely ask all of your questions and make the most of the time you are in orientation.
Yes, and if you have any questions about transfer orientation, you can email us at transferorientation@calpoly.edu, and any of the transfer orientation team will be able to get back to you.
Incredible. And y'all are so helpful and wonderful humans. So to anyone who's about to embark on their new student transition program journey, you're in for an absolutely fantastic time. So enjoy it. It goes by fast. But that is all from me. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. Y'all have anything else you want to add, or we?
I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Well, thank y'all so much for being on today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Hey there, my name's Rafael. I'm a fourth-year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comments section. Click here to subscribe, and to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a campus visit, we're offering in-person and virtual options, so check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.